Welcome to Alzheimer Speaks Radio. I'm Lori LeBay, the host and founder of Alzheimer Speaks, and I welcome you today. Hopefully it's not as scorching hot as it is here in Minnesota with a high humidity, but that's summer, and it's one of the things we love and hate, I guess, about these temperature changes here. Today we're going to have really a fun show. We're going to be talking about a beautiful song that was created to honor a grandmother who had dementia. MOUNTAINCITY, who is Dave and Tara Powers, put this song together, and it's absolutely beautiful. But before I introduce our crew here today, again, I just want to thank you for listening, and I also want to just let you know, in case you're not familiar, who we are. Basically, Alzheimer Speaks is an advocacy-based company providing multiple platforms to shift our dementia care from crisis to comfort around the world. We believe by working together, we can just make a much bigger footprint and move that lever at a quicker pace. So thank you for being part of our community. Appreciate it so much. I also want to give a shout out to my Roseville AD group, which is Roseville Alzheimer and Dementia Community Action Team. Our group, along with members from the University of Minnesota, have pulled together a Traveling with Dementia Airport survey. And we invite you all to take that if you're living with dementia or MCI or our travel companion. Those are the people we want to take this survey, and it's open to everyone around the world so that we can gather data, because we really don't have much out there in terms of what is needed to keep people independent and being able to enjoy life. You can go to alzheimerspeaks.com, and it's the first thing at the top of the page. Just click on it. Feel free to share that as well. On our homepage, you'll also find Stall Catchers, which is a game you can play to help advance Alzheimer's disease forward. You're actually analyzing real Alzheimer's data. There's also a link to the Memory Cafe directory, which is, if you're not familiar with those, are fantastic. We're going to hear a little bit more about Memory Cafes from Cyndy Luzinski, who is the Executive Director of Dementia-Friendly Communities of Northern Colorado, who's also joining us today. And then there's also a graphic regarding Cruising for Caregiving, which is a virtual book club that my friend Jennifer Fitzpatrick is doing, and she's holding that through August 28th. So check those out, and again, please feel free to share those. And again, I want to thank you for your likes, your clicks, and your shares, because we wouldn't be here without you. It's amazing how far this show has traveled in really very little time, and helping identify what is needed out there so that people can find the resources, products, and tools, and just the comfort things like the song we're going to be talking about today, letting us know that we're not alone, letting us know that those we love with dementia are deeply loved and appreciated and will never be forgotten. So let me go ahead and first introduce Cyndy Luzinski. She is a fantastic woman. I am honored to call her a friend and a colleague. She is an advanced practice nurse, a certified dementia practitioner, and the founder and executive director of the nonprofit organization to build and sustain a dementia-friendly communities in northern Colorado. She is also the only certified specialist in North America, which SPECL stands for Specialized Early Care for Alzheimer's Coach. And she's just doing phenomenal work. She was trained over in England for this, and if you aren't familiar with this program, you need to reach out to Cyndy. I could talk about this woman all day long, but we've got other things on the agenda today that we're going to be talking about, and one of them is an event she coordinated featuring Mountain City with Tara and Dave Power. So welcome, Cyndy. How are you doing today? It's so great to have you back with us.
Thanks. Glad to be here. It's always good talking with you.
Well, good. Loving that you're here, too. I see that it looks like we lost Dave, so I'm not quite sure what happened. So hopefully he will call back in. Our call-in number is 323-870-4602. That is 323-870-4602. Next, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Mountain City. They are singers and songwriters and a powerful duo comprised of Dave and Tara Powers. They are based in northern Colorado, and they write and record and perform love songs for relationships and marriages. Mountain City tours the United States, and they performed over 100 times per year, and currently has 7+ million streams on Spotify and Apple Music and all the other places where people are downloading and listening to music. So welcome, Tara. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Well, I'm so pleased to have you, and it looks like we've got Dave with us, so I'm just going to double check. Dave, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having us on the show.
Well, great. It's wonderful to have you with us. I'm going to start out, and I'm going to ask you this first, Dave, and then I'm going to go to Cyndy and to Tara. But I always ask everybody if they've been personally touched in their own family and circle of friends by dementia.
I have. My grandma has dementia now, and I had a grandma that passed away, and she had dementia as well.
Okay, so definitely you've been touched. Cyndy, how about you? Can you tell our audience if you've had a history with dementia in your family or circle of friends?
Yes. My background is a nurse. I worked with several clients living with dementia, of course, out in the community, in geriatric nursing, but really what brought me into doing more work in this world was my dad developing Lewy body dementia.
Okay, great. That is a life-changing thing when you've got somebody in the family like that. And we've talked about that, and we've got on the blog a video that you did that really talks about your dad and why you created the Northern Colorado movement that you have. That is just profound. I'm sure he's smiling down in heaven on you right now. So thank you for your work.
Thanks.
Tara, how about you? Have you been touched by family or friends?
I have my grandma, Norma Jean, who we wrote the song for, so yes.
Okay, and we'll get into more of the details about that. Thank you, you and Dave, both for your work and in performing this song. We're going to listen to it a little bit later. Next, I want to go to Dave, and maybe, Dave, if you can tell our audience a little bit more about Mountain City. Who the heck are you? Where'd you come from? And what inspires the two of you to create music?
Oh, that's a cool question. You know, Tara and I have been married for about 16 years, and we've been singing together since we got married. But about 4 years ago, we decided that we should start writing and recording music specifically for marriages and people in relationships of all kinds. And we just come out of a really tough season of life that was pretty heavy, and we really found this outlet of writing and singing love songs and songs that help people connect with each other and connect with love in a fresh way to be a life-giving thing for us. In fact, our whole community of friends kind of said, whoa, there is some serious life on this for you guys, and you should consider doing this more intentionally. And so we started throwing different concerts and inviting people to come hang out, just relax and listen to music. And it really started growing some beautiful momentum. And I think all throughout that time, Tara started realizing that ever since she was a little girl, she's been writing songs and writing music and had a passion for that. But because of life and different things that go on in life, she really hadn't had the opportunity, or maybe created the opportunity, to pay attention to songwriting in a more focused way. And in this season, that passion of hers really started growing, and her proficiency in songwriting started growing. And it has been so awesome to watch her flourish and grow in that gift. It's actually been mind-blowing. Like, I've been a musician for maybe 30 years or something, but watching her flourish and grow, not just as a songwriter or as a performer, but as a woman, as an artist, it's been shocking. I mean, it's been the ride of my life. I love watching her do her thing. It is so fun.
Oh, that's neat. I was playing around on your website, and I saw that you guys do customized music for people for events or occasions and stuff, which I think is really cool to be able to have a place to have that done, and you have different levels out there too. So I just wanted to give you a plug for that, because I think that can add so much to different events or different moments in times in someone's life. I've been watching the Songland show on TV, and I just find it fascinating how they take these songs and how they develop, and the passion that people come in sharing stories. I think they're just so powerful and so healing. So again, thank you both for your work. Cyndy, I wanted to ask you, bottom line, why did you decide to create this inaugural community-wide intergenerational memory cafe that you did this summer? I think it was like June 6th. And at that time, you featured Mountain City. So can you give us a little history about why the event and why was Mountain City chosen to be featured?
Sure. I've been working with our nonprofit organization, Dementia-Friendly Communities of Northern Colorado, for the last few years, and started that whole thing as a legacy to my dad. And part of our nonprofit is that we do memory cafes out in the community. And right now we have 6 memory cafes in northern Colorado and 13 additional ones in long-term care communities for later stage folks to enjoy. And we thought, really the best part of our month is when we get to do memory cafes. And so we really wanted the whole community to experience the fun that we have. And so we have different themes every month for our cafes, but the agenda for all of them is joy. And so we thought, well, what if we started kind of a Joy on the Journey community-wide intergenerational memory cafe and started this year with the theme of Happy Trails. And I specifically chose that because I had met Dave and Tara at one of their house concerts over Christmas, and they shared about their new song coming out. And I thought, well, this is perfect timing. We'll have our community-wide memory cafe in concert, and then they can come and debut the song. And we ended up having, 250 people of literally every age, probably as many under 65 as over 65, quite a few younger people. At every table of 10, we had a conversation facilitator. We had some of our regular memory cafe attenders, and then we had just general community members so that they could have kind of their own little mini memory cafe. But then we also did large group singing and games, and then ended with the concert by Tara and Dave. And it was just such a beautiful, high-energy, joyous night that for sure we're going to be doing it next year. I may be trying to hit up Dave and Tara again to come back. everyone who's been there is asking us if they can come back. So I'll be asking them to do that.
So did you meet them through another concert or something that they were doing, or did I miss that?
Yeah, we got invited. My husband and I got invited to a Christmas party / house concert, which I thought, well, okay, I guess it is what it is. It's a house concert, but I had never been to one, so I thought it was a little odd. But we showed up, and it was such fun. And I'll let Dave and Tara tell you more about what they do with those house concerts, but that's just a great way that I think that they've started their helping people get to know who they are and entertaining and blessing people who get to hear them.
Wonderful. I'm going to go up to Tara and just ask her if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about your house party, and then also what you thought of, performing at this intergenerational event as well.
Yes. Oh, it was such an honor. To watch Cyndy and to watch just her team of people putting on that event and how they just love on families affected by Alzheimer's, and was such an honor for Dave and I to be a part of. Such a genuine organization, and they made it so fun. They put a lot of work into it, so we were ecstatic to be a part. And Cyndy, by the way, it's already a yes. If we're available, we are going to be there. But house concerts, yeah, it is just like what Cyndy said. It's just exactly what it sounds like, but it's kind of a new wave, if you will, of stuff happening with music and artists right now. Instead of doing these big venues where people are, paying large ticket prices and going out on the town or something, it's the idea that a friend or family member can host a concert in their home. And so a lot of their friends live very near them, so it's kind of an easier night, to get a babysitter for the kids and get over to a concert and not getting home so late. But it's also just so beautiful because it's so intimate and you can connect on a personal level, because usually there's about 45 of us in the room. We bring a sound system, we set it up, we play our music, and we just are very intentional to make it an evening that music can really shine and really love on people's souls and on their hearts. And so we just love doing house concerts. So when Cyndy brought that up, that's what we do. We do them in Christmas time. We do them all year. So we love it. So great.
Oh, cool. Dave, do you have anything that you want to add to what Tara just said?
I think my darling is a wizard, and I think she covered it all beautifully.
Okay. Sounds good. Do you have any comments you want to add as far as the event that Cyndy created, and what was your perception of that? How did you feel after you left that event?
I felt like I had just been exposed to something so life-giving. I mean, Cyndy and her team are really a life-giving bunch of people. They are easy and laid back. It wasn't stressful. It was super creative. It was interactive and beautiful. Everything about it, really, from the start to finish, was comfortable and easy. We've been a part of a ton of different events, and some of them or many of them are high-strung and high-stressed, and this one was just easy. It was so fun, and we had great conversations. I remember this one gentleman that stopped by the table. We were selling CDs and shirts and stuff like that. And he was just this great guy, easy to connect with. And he told us before our performance that when he was 12 years old, he grew up going to a school that was like a 4-classroom type of a school. And so they'd bring all the grades together and do singing and different things like that. One time when he was about 12, the teacher just went up to him and said, you'll probably enjoy this music a lot more if you don't sing. And he was so shocked by what she said and kind of hurt. But he was like, I'm not a good singer. And he was jovial about it. The gentleman was probably in his 80s or something, so he was making a joke of it. And Tara looked at him and said, you know what, we're going to redeem that tonight. We're going to give you an opportunity to sing. Of course, he thought we were joking. And so right in the middle of an Elvis song, we were singing. She just jumped off the stage and stuck the mic in front of him, and he was a great sport. He tried to sing some of the lyrics and all that stuff. Well, at the end of the song, he stands up and opens his arms wide, and everybody just almost gave him a standing ovation. Everybody's just shouting for him and encouraging him. And it was one of those cool things wow, I think that memory, in a way, did just get redeemed. That was so perfect to do. So memories like that will stick with me about that event. Anything that Cyndy does is really full of joy because it is a priority for her. And I've just learned a tremendous amount from her in terms of language and perspective about how to encourage people that are going through Alzheimer's and dementia journey, and I think she'll articulate it better than I can, but I love the language of not just surviving or going through it or viewing it as a disaster, but really thriving throughout the journey. So her perspective and joy has really made an impact on me.
Yeah, she is a gal who walks her talk. There's absolutely no doubt about that. I've had the pleasure of doing an event with her too, and it was, the energy in the room was just like almost overpowering because people were so happy and so engaged, and you don't always get that when you get a group of people together. Sometimes it can just be a little mismatched or off, and she's just always knows how to bring people together and have them feel comfortable to be able to be themselves and participate. So yeah, she's a true gift to the world. Tara, I wanted to ask you why you and Dave are so passionate about helping people with Alzheimer's and dementia, and why it was important for you to be involved in this community event. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about your grandmother.
Yeah, well, obviously, when you have a loved one affected by something or going through something, you do everything you can possibly do to learn more about it, to learn how they're affected, to learn how you can serve them and love them better. It's my grandma, and for sure, sometimes people have really close relationships with their grandparents, and that is definitely the case for me. And I'm also very close with my mom, and so just sitting with my mom, even as she's going through how she's affected by her mom going through something, and just the many conversations I've had with my mom and with my grandma and all their siblings and everything, and just how it's affected everybody, and what it does with your family, and how you just have this person that you're like, I just adore them, I love them, I want to help, I want to serve in whatever way that I can. And so that has definitely been a passion. And Dave, his grandma, both of his grandmas were diagnosed with dementia. So when you learn about something new, you go, okay, well, it's time for me to learn about this and to figure out how and what my place is in this new world. So that's kind of why we got involved. And I'm so glad, because we are learning so much. And there is, just like we were talking about, Cyndy and her crew, and so many people and so many families, and you can just really relate to them and hopefully help and give voice and serve them in the best way possible. So that is why we got involved.
Yeah, I know my mom had dementia for 30 years, and there was no Cyndy, when I was going through my deal, and it would have been so nice to have that resource. And that's actually why I created Alzheimer's Speaks, was try to connect people to all these beautiful resources, because there is so much available, but so many people don't know about them. And being able to bring people together through song is just a beautiful way. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the story behind the song Sweet Norma Jean, and then we'll play that here in a little bit for people.
Well, I would absolutely love to do that, because it is about Norma Jean, my grandma, and I can't tell the story without starting off. I can't tell the story of the song without starting off just explaining about Norma Jean, about the woman that she is, and I joke around, but she is seriously one of the loveliest, kindest women that I've ever walked the face of the earth. I guess I can say that because she's my grandma. But I always joke and say the movie Cinderella that Disney did, and how she's whistling and singing, and birds come and sit on her finger and they talk to her. That's my grandma. Like, she's an animal whisperer. When I was really young, my mom and I actually lived with my grandparents for a while, so she did some of the raising of me. I say she taught me the really important things. She taught me how to walk and blow bubbles and whistle, and I've just had an incredible relationship with her my whole life. I remember when we'd leave her home as a kid, my mom said every time you would just bawl as you were leaving, because she's just a kind woman, and draws people to her, and still is like just a guileless woman. And so many people have been touched by her life and have loved her and been loved by her. She's kind of been a mama to many people who haven't had a mom. So writing a song for her was not difficult by any means. But, you know, like I said, when you have someone in your life and they are affected by something, you're trying to figure out, how do I help, or how do I come alongside and serve? And so my grandpa and her have been married for about 62 years, and he is her caretaker. And one time I was out visiting them. She was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2011. I believe it was around 2014 I was out visiting them. So Alzheimer's had been living with them for a few years there. And I left, and I was on the airplane on my way home, and I just, you know, as an artist, the emotions just came over me. How difficult it was seeing and watching what was happening to her for me. And so right then and there, from my grandpa's perspective, I took out a pen and paper and I started jotting down some ideas. And I knew writing the song, I wanted it to come from the heart of my grandpa. I wanted it to explain his pain, but I also wanted to really highlight that my grandma was still very much my grandma. She was still very much Norma Jean, and lovely and wonderful. And so I knew it couldn't be this somber, overly heavy song, but that it needed to capture that a little bit. And so I just started jotting down my ideas, and the song kind of came into fruition. I brought it home and showed Dave, and Dave so beautifully took my lyrics and my melody, and he puts the guitar to it. But one of the cool things is my grandma, from a very young age, just loved Roy Rogers. Just loved Roy Rogers. She was a little cowgirl, always wearing boots and everything. So she really loved Roy Rogers' song, Happy Trails. And so I thought I'd like to give a little bit of a nod to Happy Trails without obviously, you know, stealing it or whatever. And so there's a few lyrics in there as you'll listen that talk about Happy Trails. And so that's just a little nod to who my grandma is and what she loves. So it was obviously an honor to write it and to present it to my grandpa, especially as a song to maybe just walk with him, walk alongside him as he does this journey with her. So it's kind of why we wrote it.
Oh, beautiful. What did your grandpa think of the song? He had to. I would have just been in tears, bawling. I would imagine he was pretty touched.
I think so. I actually wasn't there when I sent it to him. I think my mom was with him, and she said he was very touched. He's kind of he's not a man of like that shows his emotions very much, but he made sure to write to me afterward and say, "Thank you so much for honoring the woman I love and me by writing this song." And so I knew, I was like, okay, it was good. It gave words to him. So it's a good thing.
Oh, sweet. Well, and you have a YouTube that you've done where you talk about the song before playing it too, and it's just, it had me in tears just listening to it, because you could just feel and you can see the love in both of your eyes, you know, when you're talking about this story and stuff. So I would encourage people to click on the YouTube video of that as well, because it's very, very touching. Well, let's go ahead and play the song, and then we'll come back and talk about it a bit, okay?
Okay. Sometimes memories are all that we have. Do you remember the good times and the bad? So I'll tell you our stories again and again. 'Cause this is all I know to help
We've got pictures together of our kids all grown up. And they all have families of their own. I'll paint for you their faces again and again. And I'll try hard not to get too upset. Sweet Norma Jean, sweet Norma Jean. I'll be singing happy trails to you until we meet again. Sweet Norma Jean, sweet Norma Jean. You have my heart and I'll keep it with you. You know my name, please keep it with you until we meet again. The scary part is when you don't know who you are. When your eyes look strange, you seem so very far. And when you look at me, I'll show you, babe, again and again. You're my cowgirl, partner, and my friend. Sweet Norma Jean, sweet Norma Jean. I'll be singing happy trails to you until we meet again. Sweet Norma Jean, my sweet Norma Jean. Yeah, my heart and I'll keep it with you. You know my name, please keep it with
How beautiful was that? Tara, I just have to ask you, because I know that you had mentioned that your grandma is whistling at the end. How does that make you feel when you hear this song?
Oh, I cry every time.
Good, I'm not alone.
Every time. That is the part that really gets me. It was so neat to be able to take an iPhone up and record her whistling that ending part and be able to incorporate it in the song. And it kills me every time I tell Dave that. I'm like, okay, I just have to know if I'm going to be listening to this song, I'm going to cry every single time.
Oh, it's quite beautiful. And Dave, how about you? What does it mean for you to hear your wife singing this song about her grandma?
Well, I think when she wrote it, she came to me and showed me kind of what she was thinking. And there was a line in there that every time she sang it, I burst into tears. And it's the third verse. She says, when you look at me, I'll show you, babe. Again and again, you're my cowgirl, my partner, and my friend. geez, just even saying that right now gets me. Tara and I really prioritize friendship in our relationship, and it's been what's made our marriage so fun. And not like every minute has been fun or anything, but overall it's just been amazing because we continue to pursue each other as friends and learn more about each other and do fun things for each other and all that. So when she wrote that line, "You're my cowgirl, my partner, and my friend," it just spoke something really deeply into my heart. Apart from that, she's got an angelic voice. I mean, it's just amazing to listen to, and she sang it with such beautiful emotion. And I think when we, you might talk about this later too, but when we were at the Memory Cafe event with Cyndy, Tara kind of debuted this song. I think you were talking about that earlier. And when she sang it, we played the iPhone recording right from her iPhone into the microphone. And at the end of it, everybody just jumped to their feet in a standing ovation for the song. And it was a beautiful moment. It was so touching that people were moved and impacted by her art and by the story and by the passion that we carry to try to love people well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's wonderful. And like you said, she does have such an angelic voice. It just gives you this calmness. No matter what state you're in, it pulls you to a different space and time. And then, with the beautiful storytelling and the music to go with it, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So kudos to you both. Just a great song. Cyndy, when you heard the song, what were your thoughts? Did you get teary-eyed too? I'm still wiping my eyes at this end.
Oh man, I'm maybe have trouble talking about it even now. Yeah, I listened to it now so many times, and it struck me that really even the brilliance in the song, Tara, I bet you don't even know this, but you could have tied up the song in a bow, and it's you're my cowgirl, you're my partner, you're my friend. The end, everything's fine, and yet then you still go back to life, like with or without dementia. It's just still messy, and you have that unresolved tension of, I know even if you can't recognize my name or my face anymore, you're going to be able to look at me and you're going to know that you're loved. You're going to be able to recognize beauty and kindness. And yet, still at the end, I still want you to remember my name. And so I feel like that it's so vulnerable and honest. And I really think that the authenticity of the song is why it resonates so strongly, not just even with the care partners that were in the room for the event that we had, but really for anybody, just regular community members, because it is so tender and authentic and just saying, yeah, life is messy, but it's still a journey, and we can find joy on that journey even without full resolution. And I just love how it doesn't get all neatly tied up, but that it's a deeper and a richer song as a result. And then just to end with the whistling of Norma Jean is, I feel like, so powerful.
I agree.
Talking about joy on the journey. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
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 Well,
I can't say enough.
Yeah, and it just seems like such a perfect mesh too. For I know you as a person and how you do your events. It just is. It's a beautiful match and mix, showing the honor and just sustaining that love, even though it might change and it might look different, it is still there and it will never, ever go away.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very neat. Cyndy, I wanted to ask you regarding the event. You had mentioned you had people kind of from all ages and stuff, but what were their thoughts? What kind of feedback did you get from the event, from the people who attended, both for the event in general and then from the song itself?
With the song, I think it's so beautiful that even for somebody living with dementia who maybe doesn't even recall the facts of what the words just said, it's just so beautiful. And again, people are always going to recognize beauty. And so that part of it just stirred them. And for sure the care partners, it resonated with them because of the story of struggle and beauty at the same time. And then the rest of the community, I keep still hearing, I run into people and they just say that was just an amazing event because we were all together. We found out it's not scary to have intergenerational interaction and children interacting with people living with dementia and without dementia who maybe are just older. But it really was an absolutely intergenerational time to connect that it exceeded my expectations for sure. So I don't know, I can't even keep me going, and we could be on way more than another few minutes.
Well, and I think, everybody talks about dementia awareness, and you did that in such a beautiful, fun way, by having the different interactions, having the planted facilitators at the table, having the music, and, and just this variety of really, let's just live life. And that's how we're going to show you about dementia awareness. We're not just going to talk at you, but we're really going to show you how this happens. And it doesn't have to be big and scary. It can be a beautiful, beautiful thing. And again, with that number of people, 250 people gathered, no one can feel alone. It's just that I think that having that large presence in and of itself is just something amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing.
Let me tell you one. I'll tell you one. Part two about the guy who got up and sang. So I talked to him afterwards. He's living with dementia, and he's now going to be on our advisory board for our nonprofit organization. So
Wonderful.
I'm so excited. He wanted to do more in the community with us, and so that was a catalyst event for him to get up and sing. So thank you, Tara.
Very, very neat. Dave, can you tell us a little bit more about what you would like to happen, with the use of this song, and where you see it going, and how you think it can help people?
Absolutely. I think about June being the Alzheimer's and Dementia Awareness Month, but while it's so beautiful to have a month that helps people connect with the idea of getting more education and supporting it financially, and coming alongside amazing organizations like yours and like yours, Cyndy, that they're doing just amazing work at helping people live well through the process. Even though it's focused on for a month, this is a year-round thing. And so we didn't write this song just for every June or something like that. This is something that we get to advocate for year-round, to help people find quality education, to just give people language for what they're going through. Sometimes a song can do that just about better than anything, where you hear a song and you go, that's exactly what I'm feeling. It's exactly what I'm thinking. And that was our hope for the song. And so I guess kind of our hope throughout the year is to continue to connect with organizations and people that are advocating for and educating people that are going through this Alzheimer's and awareness and dementia awareness journey. And really just wanted to bring hope to people, which I think is obviously hugely needed, but it can be an easy thing to disconnect from hope in situations like these. And I think music plays a crucial role. In fact, I think there's even science behind the power of music and where it's stored in the brain. It's stored all over the brain. So even people going through Alzheimer's or dementia are connected at a heart level with music. And so really our heart was just to provide something that Cyndy said was beauty and hope and a story that could encourage and strengthen and uplift people throughout the year as they go through the journey.
Wonderful. Thank you. Tara, is there anything that you'd like to add to what Dave said?
I think he captured it pretty brilliantly. Any help, any way we can love people through beauty and music, yeah, we want to keep doing that. And so we will keep doing that, especially in this and the new light and the new community that we found with dementia and Alzheimer's. So we love it.
Wonderful. And I do agree, music just resonates with us on an emotional level that words don't do. I mean, most of us can think of a song we hear in the car and it brings us back in time. And this is definitely one that brings us back and connects us at like Dave said, that heart level, that soul level. And it's so neat when you run across pieces like that just give you that pure sense of love, and it's sung with such authenticity, and a story that I think most anybody dealing with dementia can relate to. But even if they're not dealing with dementia, anytime you feel love for somebody, this song will still resonate with them, having that hope of being connected and being there for another. So again, thank you both so much. Now I have for your website is at www.mountaincitymusic.com, and then they can put in Mountain City Music. I believe it is on Facebook as well, because there's some other mountain cities out there. And then your YouTube channel, and we've got those all listed for people to be able to just click. And Dave, now can they purchase this song? Can they go to like an iTunes, or if somebody wants to download that?
Yes, they can. You can download the song on any of those digital platforms, iTunes or Amazon or Google. Certainly listen to it on Spotify or Apple Music or Tidal or Deezer or any of those. And then probably the best way as far as purchasing goes, the funnest way to do that if folks are interested would just be to go to our website. You can buy it right off of there, and that way we get to stay in contact and maybe even develop a friendship or something like that. So if they want to buy that, they can just go to the website that you mentioned, www.mountaincitymusic.com, and click on the shop button, and they'll be able to see that song as well as other ones that we've created as well.
Wonderful. Well, Tara and Dave, I want to thank you so much for your time today. It's just really, really been a pleasure to get to know you, get to learn a little bit more about Mountain City and this beautiful song, Sweet Norma Jean, that you've pulled together for the world. It's just quite the gift. So keep on the beautiful track that you are. You're having just a huge, huge impact. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome, more than welcome. Now, Cyndy, as far as you, people can also reach out to you, and they can go to your website, which is Dementia-Friends, NOCO.org, Dementia-Friends, NOCO.org. They can also go to your Facebook page, which is Dementia-Friendly Communities, NOCO, and the NO is for North and the CO is for Colorado. We also have listed your email address down, which they can find on the page, along with a phone number to call you as well. Any last comments from you, Cyndy?
No, just thank you for what you do. I obviously, even here in Northern Colorado, couldn't be doing what we're doing had we not tapped into your generosity and brilliance and sharing your wisdom with us as we were getting going on this journey. So thank you so much for your support of what we're all doing here too.
Well, thank you. And then one last time, I'll just ask Dave and Tara if they have any last comments that they would like to share with our audience.
I do. I just want to say, Lori, thank you so much for your hospitality and your generosity in letting us join you on your show and kind of show the song and tell the story and all that stuff. Beyond that, your generosity toward us, I want to thank you for your generosity and just pouring your life out to give voice and language to people that are going through this Alzheimer's and dementia awareness or this Alzheimer's and dementia journey. And I just really appreciate you. And I wanted to say also, Cyndy, you're a total sweetheart, and we love you like crazy, and thank you for your friendship as well, and for setting this up and introducing us to Lori.
Great. Well,
yeah,
thank
I
you.
agree.
Oh, go ahead, Tara. I didn't mean to.
I was just going to say I agree. And Lori, you had said earlier that you walked through the Alzheimer's stuff with your mom, and you didn't have the support. And I love that you did something about it, and you are helping to support people as well as Cyndy. And so I'm so thankful for people that will take the hard things they go through in life and turn them into beauty. So I think that's what we're all doing, and I love it.
Yeah, it's very fun. And, I'm a firm believer in what I call the power of one. Every single person out there has the ability to make a change and to help others. And all we have to do is step up to the plate and not be afraid of what might happen. We should be more afraid of what won't happen if we don't step up. And we can always improve on everything in the world. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We just have to start and get momentum. And for me, it's been such a gift to have created Alzheimer's Speaks and the radio show and connecting people all around the world to all different types of mediums. And I love, the music and the film and the plays that are starting to come out because people all learn differently. They're all comforted differently. And so each of us has our own unique set of skills, and we just need to tap into them and believe that's what we're here to do. And I firmly believe we can just push the needle on this whole thing so much faster if we work together. So again, I want to thank all three of you for joining me. It's just been a pleasure, and all of you keep up the great work that you're doing, and we will have to keep us posted, Cyndy, on next year's event and what's going on. So thank you again. Bye now.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Well, hi, I'm Lori LeBay, and I wanted to tell you about Alzheimer's Speaks, which is another great podcast. You see, my own mother lived with dementia for 30 years, and I felt lost. Did you know every 3 seconds someone in the world is being diagnosed with dementia? Odds are it's going to hit your families too. We want to help you connect to services, products, tools, research, and stories so you can be prepared. Please subscribe to Alzheimer's Speaks on your favorite podcast platform.